All right. Fuck you. I forgot my hat downstairs, so I ran all the way downstairs. I get my hat with my Comet, and my Remo pins. I got my Union Pacific 4014 pin with my little caboose pin. And there's a little dinosaur on the brim. Okay. All right. I did eat shit. I ran into the bookcase when I was coming up the stairs. Yeah, that's a thing. My 5 Plus is still down. I should probably just show the pictures of it. Because fun fact, if you're running an ABS print in an enclosure and the filament comes off of your supports and gets stuck in the blades, it does not end very well. So basically my heat crept all the way up to the hot end. It heated up the top of the hot end and the screws melted through the ABS. Because all those parts are ABS. Yeah, it got hot enough to melt through the ABS. And somehow it did not break the thermistor and the heater. Because I was like sitting here like looking at it, still printing with it dragging the hot end around. And I'm wondering why the hell thermal runaway didn't trip. And then I realized that it was actually still heating just fine. So thermal runaway didn't trip because it was still working as far as the printer was concerned. So this is what I woke up to. I was actually running a customer job on it, and it was coming out great. Except, yeah, can you see my Mosquito Magnum there on its side? It was still running.
Melted right off.
It melted right. So what happened was it started softening the plastic up enough where the force of the extruder pushing the filament down pushed the hot end out. Yeah, so there. That's the aftermath. You can see literally the filament that was not melted that just extruded. And look at my poor hot end.
Oh,
that's an almost $300 hot end sitting there. So yeah, look at that one little piece. Do you see that? The piece of filament there on the fan blades. Mm-hmm. So the motor hub burned up. So, I mean, all in all, I just have to I already have the parts they're saying, but so I have to replace this, the duct, the block that mounted the heat sink, and the fan. So it's not going to be terrible to fix, but man, I was having like a week and then I woke up and I came out to this. So here, this is what happened. I moved the hot end to the front left, and yeah, you can see it just started balling up and it forced it out. So This is not just a modded printer thing. If you get filament stuck in your fan, and it's not a PWM fan, or not a PWM fan, but a tachometer fan, it can happen. If basically what happened was there's a lot of support on this, and the support came up and got into the fan. So it's not like, it came off. I probably should use a little more in here. On the next job I did, I actually sliced it with more support, even though I didn't need it in here, just because I didn't want it coming off. So I wouldn't put that hot end back on. I'm going to put it back on. The hot end's actually okay. I'm going to replace the thermistor and the heater, but the hot end is actually fine. It's a little dirty, but it's actually fine. Like nothing got damaged on the hot end. The thermistor and the heater are actually still working, but I'm going to replace it. So yeah, I was torn between just like taking a hammer to it and just crying. So yeah, I had print failures too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I've had that happen on one of my. Actually, I think it was on my Mercury one as well.
yeah, so the thing is, I'm like reaching for my volume controller here because I have it on my computer downstairs, and I don't have one on this computer yet to turn the volume up. So, yeah, no. If you have any printer that doesn't, if your hot end fan just dies, like if that fan just died, the same thing would have happened. Like,
Hey, DeWitt.
yeah, so I was thinking about. So I was like, man, if I didn't have if I would have put a fan grill, I was like, well, if I had a fan grill, most of the fan grill designs had pretty big openings, more for keeping fingers out. The filament probably could have still gotten through there. So I was like, part of me wanted to make like kind of a scoop that comes up, so it pulls the air from the top. So a filament would have to go all the way up, which is not going to happen. It won't look the best, but yeah, Lux Inc says same thing happened to my Merc. Can we get an F in chat for the Epic? This is probably actually the worst printer failure I've had ever.
Oh shit! Yeah, remember a couple weeks ago, because it ended up being my fan died.
Yeah,
when I was having problems with my Merc.
So the same thing. Yeah. So that's so you okay? Yeah. So the only thing that would have saved this is if that was a metal mount. But even like most of the new printers, they're using plastic mounts. They might be injection molded, but like this was all ABS. It got
injection molded ABS. Yeah.
Yeah, it's or even the nylon. At a certain point, it's going to get hot enough where it's going to push out. And the thing that sucks is it had only done that for like 7 or 8 layers. So if I had come out like an hour before, I probably would have been able to stop it or at least pause it, depending on what happened. That's I think PC ABS. So. Yeah, the bed was at like 110C. The nozzle was at 270. So we were cooking. But it's been printing great aside from that failure. And as soon as I started looking, I was like, okay, how the hell did this happen? And then I looked at the fan. I saw the filament stuck in the fan. I tried to spin the fan blade with the filament still there. I was like, fan stopped running and everything overheated. Pretty simple, what happened in the sequence of events. So yeah.
It took the Revo nozzle out and continued to print while dragging the hot end around.
Hey, mine was the Revo as well. I really
should I take this out of there and should I put one of the Rapidos in here?
I grabbed a Rapido for my one.
I packed your order.
I like the
it is covered in stickers with spiders on them.
Wait a minute. I forgot about that.
I'm actually printing the ducts and everything right now for the replacement on the bamboo.
Okay, my question is, that's a Mosquito Magnum. Would the Rapido be a better higher flow hot end than the Magnum? I haven't looked up the flow rates.
Or
are they about the same?
I personally don't know because I've never had a Mosquito, but I have
because we have the Rapidos in stock. I've got 2 of them, or I've got 8 of them in stock right now. So we'll jump into the news in a sec, but we can kind of segue into this.
Well, that is part of the thing. We have new products.
I have 3 Rapidos and love them. So
okay, I mean maybe I'll do that.
2 plus, I believe.
Yeah, like maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll change out for a Rapido because I should only have to change that one insert that holds the hot end because I reprinted it right here. I reprinted it. This is the one for the Mosquito. But I haven't obviously put in the printer. Oh yeah, the probe mount got cracked too. My probe was getting dragged around, but the probe still works fine. I'm gonna slap it back on there. They're very durable. But yeah, that's going to be a thing for next week because I don't really need that machine. We luckily have enough printers where a couple can be down and we're not going to have any problems. So, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do the stream or if I was just going to tell Tor to do it because we had at like 9 to 10 o'clock last night, we were all, Krista and I play Star Citizen with a couple of friends, and the connection just kept dropping and we couldn't figure out why. And I went and checked our Comcast. We had the Comcast modem, and it was just rebooting itself over and over again, like every 5 minutes. So I was like, okay, well, no big deal. I'll just go grab one of the spare modems I have because I had 2 extra DOCSIS 3.1 cable modems. They're older, but they are on the approved list. I hook it up. I provision the modem. It comes online. Our package we have is a 2,000, like 2,200 down and 300 up is what we pay for, which I got with their modem. I hook up the older modems. One of them is a MB8611, which if you guys are buying a modem, don't ever buy the MB8611. They're dog shit, but it was a working modem. Problem is with these older modems now, if you're in a newer area like us, they call it like their next gen speeds or their 10G network. It's I think the technical term is called the mid split. They have fucked up all of the firmware for the older modems. So the older modems are plenty capable. Like this is a modem with 2.5 gig port. The down speed went from 2.2 gigs to 700 megabytes or 700 megabits. And then my upload speeds went from 340 is what I usually got to 5 on the best. My speed tests were ranging from 0.7 to 5 megabits upload. We couldn't even do a Discord voice call without our audio breaking up. It was that bad. Now the connection was stable and it was better than nothing and it better than it rebooting every couple of minutes. So I ordered the Coda 56 from it's like high tech. No, hang on. I just bought it literally last night and Amazon actually came through Hytron. And it's the best bang for the buck on the approved modems for their new network, which is what we're streaming with right now. And that I'm getting faster speeds than with their XB8 modem, which I'm taking their XB8 back and shoving it up their rears because that modem has been nothing but problems. So it was great for the first 6 months. We have our own professional network equipment here. We're all Ubiquiti equipment. We have their UDM Pro. We have everything's 10 gig between all the core switches. We have all their switches, all their access points. So their modem was put in bridge mode, which if you guys know what that is, it disables all the Wi-Fi and stuff except for their Xfinity hotspot shit. And it turns it into basically a modem. Well, that modem I think I've had it for less than a year. It had, they sent provisioning requests, which factory reset the damn modem like 5 different times. And luckily I was home every single time because what happens is because I have my camera system, I have our easy firmware site, I have our ticket system, it's all hosted here. So when the modem goes out of bridge mode, I now lose access to everything if I'm outside of the house, which means all that stuff goes down until I go back into the modem and put it back into bridge mode. So
yeah, there were a lot of emails. We have a email system that messages us when anything goes down. I got a lot of emails last night.
Yeah. So, okay. So I had my backup modem, which I'm going to keep because it was better than nothing. The download speeds were bearable. The upload speeds were horrible, but it was better than nothing. We could still get work done. And the external services were still accessible. They were just slow, which is why I posted a status update. So tried 2 different older modems. They both had the same issue. I go and look on Amazon and other places selling those modems that I have for reviews, and other people having the same issues. There's Reddit posts, there's Comcast forum posts, everybody bitching about the upload speeds getting throttled to 5 megabits or less. Okay. So I bite the bullet. I buy the new modem. As I'm provisioning the new modem, I have to call because I can't do it through the app. Now I have to pay $30 a month more for the privilege of using my own modem because when you don't use their modem, I was paying $25 a month for their modem, which comes with unlimited data. But if I want unlimited data with my own modem, I have to pay $30 a month.
I have to pay $30 a month extra to use it unlimited data with their modem.
You freaking freaks!
I was a little late with that.
That needs to be an FCC complaint too, because they are not supposed to charge you for using your own equipment.
They're not charging me for using my own equipment. They're charging me for the unlimited data. But how they're getting around this is if you use their modem, they charge you $5 less a month, and then they give you unlimited data when you use their modem. That's how they're getting around it.
Yeah,
that's how
if enough people complain about it, they'll.
So I don't care. I'm now paying, like, with the fees and everything. I was paying a flat $70 a month for our service, and now I'm paying $118. And I don't fucking care because now I have my own modem. I don't have to deal with their shit. And if this modem dies, I can go to Best Buy if I really need it and go grab another modem and be back up and running really quick instead of dealing with their shit. I don't have to worry about it going back out of bridge mode and killing my connection and all the services I have running out of here. It is like, I saw somebody saying you can't use your own modem with their new network. You can. So we're on it right now. I'm streaming on this connection. This is my Ubiquiti router here. So I'm streaming on this right now. So I have my own modem. If I run a speed test here, it's doing just fine. So I'm happy with those speeds. That's actually faster than I was getting with their modem. So I'm very happy with these speeds. So the good news is I found out a little local fiber company is coming to our area very soon. They actually have our town on the list, and most towns that they put on the list get fiber within 6 months. So as soon as I get fiber, I'm going to walk into Comcast, tell them, fuck you, and I'm leaving. So the only thing is I'll have to figure out another cells provider I use because I'm on Xfinity Mobile for our phones, which uses Verizon. I've actually been pretty happy with that. I haven't had, knock on wood, haven't had any issues with the Xfinity Mobile service. But
I've had no issues with Google Fi. If you want to switch to
I don't like Google because they use T-Mobile, and I hate T-Mobile. Like their network is dog shit. I don't like Verizon, but their network is the best network. There's no arguing
T-Mobile is good depending on your market. Like they're great in major metropolitan areas, big cities. Outside of that, it's trash. So yeah, that's what I've actually been researching for my stepson who's in the Navy to finally get him a real phone because he has a flip phone and the kids in basic training were giving him shit. They're like, there's no way you have a flip phone. Those things don't even exist. So when they finally were able to use their phones for the first time, they're like, oh my God, you do. But he got that because he got himself in trouble. But anyway, T-Mobile has the best discount for active service and veterans.
Yeah, so I had, before Xfinity Mobile, I had Straight Talk, and how Straight Talk works is you buy a SIM card because you can bring your own phone. I just buy my phones outright. I don't finance them. I don't buy them through the carriers. I just buy them outright. It's more expensive, but I'm not making payments on a fucking cell phone. If I can't afford to buy a nice phone outright, I'll buy a cheaper phone. But this is who's coming into our area, hopefully in the next 6 months. These are the plans they offer. And I know I've seen the pricing. This connection is right around $200 a month. Do you see the speeds?
That's fucking awesome.
That's 8 gigs a second.
I don't need it, but I want it.
This one's like right around 100. This one's right around 120, somewhere around there. And I think this one's like $50 or $60 a month.
Okay, so here's what's irritating about this. So your $50 a month plan is what I pay Verizon for my home 5G, and it's limited to 320.
Yeah, do you see this?
Your 120 plan was what I was paying Starlink for 220.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, I'm going to ask them because my buddy has fiber. I think, yeah, he's got fiber over in Portage, and he just goes right into his router. He doesn't even have a box from the ISP. He literally goes right in. He has an SFP port. You put a fiber module in there. My router here will handle 10 gig internet. It can handle it. So I'm hoping I can just have them literally run the line to my house and go right into my router, not have to deal with any of their equipment. and just have
one less point of failure.
One less point of failure, go right into my equipment, just give me my IPs, or maybe it's DHCP. As soon as they're available, I'm getting rid of Comcast because I am so tired of it. I've never had, the last time I had an ISP modem was when I moved out of my house and bought a condo in 2012. And I had Uverse for a bit. They were horrible. And then I got Comcast and I used their modem and I had the same issues where it would go out of bridge mode. It would, drop all the time. Like basically what would happen with their modems, I noticed, is if you do like a large download or you have a ton of activity, the modem just shits the bed and resets. So yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do this. And I was up. So to give you guys an idea, I was up until 4:30 in the morning on the phone with them trying to get the slow speeds on these other modems sorted out. And they had no idea what was going on, despite there's tons of people on their own forums complaining about the same thing with these two particular modems I have. And there's like, they're useless. Their tech support is absolutely useless. And then like, they're like, well, we can send a technician. I was like, it's not your line. It's not my lines. It's not my equipment. Whoever's provisioning these modems and sending these files out to these modems, they're not getting provisioned correctly. And in one of the modems, I can actually access and see the name of the file. And they literally sent it the generic base config for their lowest plan instead of the highest plan config I have. So they're not provisioning these older modems correctly. And honestly, it seems like they're just trying to get you to either get their modem by making the experience on your own older devices absolute dog shit, or by doing what I had to do, which is shelling out for a new modem, even though I have hardware that is perfectly capable, and they're just not wanting to make the stuff work and provision it correctly. Like, yeah, I hate it. I fucking hate it. Like
back when I lived down in Howell, when I could get Comcast, it was the same way because I had a Netgear. Because I used to work for Comcast, so I know their equipment is dog shit.
Well, fuck you. Put your Comcast hat on so I can yell at you.
And so yeah, I spent the money on a nice modem, and it would work for a while, and then it would start fucking up. And they're like, well, we can replace this with one of ours. I'm like, no. Well, it's probably your modem then.
They always, and then the guy's like, it's your wireless. I was like, I have more equipment in my house than most businesses have.
Yeah.
It's not my fucking equipment. Fix your goddamn system. Like, so yeah, we're up, we're running. So yeah, and then on top of that, our help desk system is tied to our IP address, and luckily Comcast doesn't change the IP as long as it's like online without major like days of gaps. But when I changed the modem out, the IP changed, and then the help desk system was like, oh, well, if you need multiple IPs, you have to pay extra for it. And then it locked our ticket system out, and they're over in the UK, and they got back to me at like 4 a.m. and I had to run a command in the Docker container to have it clear the cache out and then reissue the license to the IP address. It was horrible. I went to bed at like 5 a.m. today. So it's been a rough 24 hours. So, and then when I was coming to bed, Olivia woke up, and then Krista got up because Olivia didn't want to go back to sleep. And it's just, I'm exhausted. And then yeah, it's been a long week. This week feels like it's gone by fast, but it's also been slow all at the same time. And I don't know how the So on a lighter note, we have a ton of new stuff that we stock. We stock. So in terms of hot ends, now we're official Fadus reseller. We've got the Rapido 2 Plus. We've got the Dragonfly BMS, which is a drop-in replacement for a bunch of Creality printers, and we also have the Dragonfly BMO. In terms of bamboo stuff, we now have replacements for the exhaust fan, the auxiliary fan, the P1 and X1 series hot end fans. We also have the carbon filter replacements. And we also have the new upgraded nozzle wiper brush, which is amazing. I got to take pictures of it on my machine, but you just unscrew the little crappy wiper they have and put this in its place. And it's got these little like silicone fingers, and it actually wipes the nozzle and
like
cleans off the nozzle.
It's the same style of wiper that the A ones have on their
which is a way better design, way better design. So I was very happy. One of our suppliers they were like, hey, we got a bunch of bamboo stuff. I was like, actually, this is a lot of good stuff. So, and all the fans are all dual ball bearing fans. We don't sell the crappy cheapy sleeve bearing fans. They're all dual ball bearing fans, and they're all drop-in replacements. So you can unscrew the old fan, put the new fan in. So we've got, I think we have like basically all the fans that uses aside from the layer fan, right? Because we've had the board cooling fan. Now we got the hot end fans. We don't do anything for the A1s aside from a bed plate for the full size A1. But yeah, we got a ton of stuff from that. Those wiper brushes and the fans have been flying off the shelves. And yeah, so yeah, check that out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. Flex plates, because I know somebody always asks. So the flex plate order is held up in. Where did Tor go?
Ooh.
I don't know. So he just messed up the entire stream. You just kicked everybody out.
I didn't do anything.
So you left, and then it kicked us all out when you came back.
That was weird. Yeah, it just cut out on my end.
Maybe your Comcast is having issue.
Comcast heard you talking shit.
Yeah, I can't wait to get rid of them. I honestly, I will have such a relief of getting rid of them. You have no idea. Like, I hate that company. Like, legitimately hate that company. But I don't have any other fucking options.
My ex-wife's neighborhood just got torn up because they're putting fiber in.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing where they're doing local spots, except it's kind of funky. I don't know if it's based on how they got the money, but like her neighborhood is T-Mobile, but the neighborhood next door who also got fiber.
T-Mobile has fiber?
Apparently. Another company is handling that neighborhood. Same
For my
city.
neighborhood, it's literally across the street. All the addresses directly across the street from me could get fiber, but our side of the street could not get fiber. It was
the middle school down the street from us has MCI fiber, but yeah. What were we saying before we got derailed by you leaving and joining?
New parts. Flex plates.
Flex plates. So we ordered those back in June. They're still sitting on the fucking container and being held in customs. So customs has been sitting on this fucking container for 3 fucking weeks now. That's why we don't have the flex plates and the magnets that are out of stock right now.
East Coast port or West Coast port?
East Coast. It's not on the West Coast with all the entitled pieces of shit.
They have to
East
go
Coast is the entitled shit dicks.
Oh, sorry, West Coast. West Coast. They come in through California. Yeah, I have no sympathy for those guys. They start making $80K a year and they want more. Like, yeah, I would love.
Some of them make over 100.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's
all unskilled labor.
I know. It's insane. But we can. This is not the channel for that. But I'm. My shit's held in customs. Customs is fucking us over. I don't know what else was on the container. Maybe our plates got into the container that someone's trying to smuggle in some cocaine or something from China in tea bags, or I don't know,
or the Miho PSUs or whatever.
I have no idea, but they're stuck in customs. Like, and I've been yelling at our suppliers, like, listen, dude, I get it, but it's not my problem. I paid you thousands of dollars. Like, I've got over $5,000 at cost in plates that I ordered over a month ago that still aren't here. Usually the sea shipment takes about 20 days to get here. So yeah, I'm gonna check the tracking because it comes over a container and then it comes. These are a FedEx, so FedEx will grab them from the port. Holy fuck! It just updated like 2 minutes ago.
No.
Yes, 2 minutes ago. Here, I'll even show the. Hang on, let me edit this. To take the tracking number out here. Literally. Hang on. I'm editing the. Why is inspect element not working? Hang on. My browser's being stupid. Okay, hang on. I got it. Let me take the stuff out here. Oh my God. That has never happened where it's like, yeah, this is delayed. And then I'm like, okay.
Oh, while you're fixing that,
there we go.
My package just showed up today. The one that I've been bitching about showed up today.
Yeah.
Fine.
It's been getting bounced around. Okay, here. So this
Tube
is
all smashed up.
So we use this app called One Tracker. It's 5:32 right now. See, flex plates and mags, C-ship. I don't know if he did something, but I told him, I was like, listen, if I don't have the tracking updated by the end of the week, you're reshipping these. And if they show up, I'll pay you for them. But I've been waiting too long. I don't know if you guys saw it. It said July 25th is when those were shipped. That's actually, what is it, almost 3 months? That's when they actually got onto the container, was July 25th.
Been waiting a little while.
So I've ordered them, but they've been sitting in customs for what, almost over a month now? I don't even know. It's been at least 3 weeks. It might have actually been over a month.
I think it's been over a month.
Yeah. All I know is it's just been an ongoing thing where I'm like, where are my plates? Where are my plates? Where are my plates? Where are my plates? I want my plates. My customers want their fucking plates. I need my plates. Like, yeah. So, okay, well, there's one good thing that's happened. Yeah, so yeah, flex plates, it says October 8th, so I'm assuming if FedEx doesn't screw the pooch, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday we should have them. Thank God. Oh, Tim is sleep deprived and pissed off right now. It's not a great combination. All right, Tor, what do you want to talk about today?
Pulling up the show notes right now. Backed by the cat as well.
I'm just
3MF files they're getting a big update if you use 3MF instead of STLs.
STL for life. STL for life. No, 3MF's fine. They're okay.
Well, you can actually put a lot more information into them versus STLs. STLs are just pretty much the geometry.
Yeah, but like when you're asking somebody for STL, it doesn't sound as good as like got STL. STL? What are you gonna say? 3MF? 3MF? That just sounds weird. 3MF? 3MF? It sounds weird. I don't like it.
Thrumph.
Hey, you got that? You got the 3MF file? STL. No.
But yeah, you can get a lot more information into 3MFs, more than just the geometry of the printer or of the file.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna be yawning. I also haven't had any caffeine. Let me pull this up. I thought you were gonna pull it off, but wait, there's a consortium for 3MF?
Consortium? Yeah.
Is a consortium or consortium? I have no idea. It's one of those weird words. Okay, we're gonna go with that.
I've always heard it as consortium.
Okay, so I don't know why it's so big. Okay, let's see. So with volumetric extension, what does this mean? Oh my God, go away. Let's see. So intended to see prior dumb model formats such as STL, yeah, I know that. Let's see. So it provides additional support for voxel data within 3MF files. This will enable the representation of objects with variable material properties throughout their volume, like opacity, color, and strength. Okay. So I wonder if then slicers can use that data to determine where they're going to put infill. And if you have a multi-material system, what materials you can then apply to those regions of the file.
Exactly.
Yeah, here. Yeah, volume build parameters, where that can be for multi-materials or just a lossless high-resolution communication of geometry with infinite complexity. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's go to the consortium. 3mf.io. I did not know this site existed for a 3D model format. I had no idea they had a website for a 3D model file. I thought that it was just kind of like, I don't know, just like an open standard on GitHub or something.
That's kind of what I thought at first. I actually learned about it when reading through the post.
Oh, interesting. Secure content extension for protecting intellectual property. Interesting. So you can lock down files with the 3MF extension. Interesting.
But yeah, it can load a lot more settings in your slicer when you import it over just a STL.
Oh, they have like a whole freaking thing. There's even a PDF here. Let's see what's in this PDF. Oh, there we go. We go to GitHub. I was like, there's got to be GitHub. Okay. Oh, markdown to PDF. Does it just generate? Oh, yeah. Wait, no. Okay, so it's a markdown pad or markdown page. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. Okay. God damn. Yeah, I'm not reading any of this. This is way too long. Okay.
Yeah,
Today I learned
boil
that
it down. It's a lot more information you can pack in pretty much the same kind of package that printers can read or slicers can read.
Oh, so 3D Fuel is spinning back up? Didn't they like?
They did go out for a couple of years in
And they're coming back now?
2022.
Yeah,
Yep.
they've been gone for a bit now.
According to
Let's
the article,
see.
they were bought out.
Were they bought? Okay, so someone's
Yeah.
relaunching them then. I've
Yeah.
never
They took
printed.
over
Yeah,
their factory.
2022.
They
Okay,
were
so
bought out, and then that company was bought out and wasn't going to continue the 3D Fuel, so whoever this is bought the branding and the warehouse back, if I'm understanding
And
this correctly.
bringing like updated machines. Probably they bought out the whatever formula they were using as well.
yeah, interesting. Because I know that whole conglomerate that bought Lulzbot owned them because they're also based out of Fargo. So they must have sold. Yeah, there's all these like different shell companies and parent companies and stuff. Interesting.
I used to print with 3D Fuel occasionally.
Yeah, I've never used their stuff.
They had good filament. It was before we even had filament, so I would use whatever I could find. But they had good filament, and it's good to see at least part of them coming back. It's not the original people, but
yeah, that's interesting. These pins are digging into my head with my headphones pushing down on it. It's uncomfortable. All right, well, that's good. It's nice to see another U.S. company making a comeback. I don't know if you guys saw, but Polymaker is starting to make filament in the U.S. now. I don't know if you guys saw that. Probably should have put that in there. But yeah, they're starting to make not all their filament, but certain filaments. They have production lines now making filament in the U.S., which is awesome. So, what the hell is this, Tor? This next one with oysters, oyster pods.
Oh, I thought this was cool.
Here, I'll pull it up. You can talk about it. This is interesting.
So a shellfish company who they pretty much farm oysters. They're using 3D printed, what's it called?
Pods?
Yeah, like little pods to start these. Like,
this is interesting. Which takes about 2 hours to print compared to 3 months they would take to assemble using traditional processes. That's crazy.
That's a huge markup in
time. Right now, most farmers either drop their cage in the bottom over the winter, and everything goes dormant, or they'll take their product and stick it in a cooler, and it will slowly dry out over winter. The 3D print pods will be stored inside along the shellfish to continue growing at the company's headquarters. Nixon said the seed grows during the winter, and the larger seeds are sold in the spring to shellfish farmers. Okay, that's interesting. Do they have a picture of it?
I couldn't find a picture of it, but they had.
I'm going to like their source here. Oh, there it is, right there. Holy fuck!
Yeah, they're
okay. So these are huge. They're literally
2 hours to print this.
Is
that just like the first layer?
I love how there's just like duct tape holding it down. Is it cool? There's like some sort of hose going in here underneath this like membrane that they're printing on. Are they just printing on the floor?
Liquid? Yeah. Well, you're not going to get a printed bed for something that
you know what this might be? I'm looking at there's not another hose that I can see. I'm wondering if this is like air to suck this flat onto the surface.
Oh.
Like it's a vacuum.
Like the reverse, vacuum instead of like an air hockey table, but in reverse.
Yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, no, they're not making filament out of it. They're using 3D printing to print these pods so the oysters can grow. Interesting.
And this is like biodegradable.
Yeah, so the thing that I love about 3D printing, obviously, other than the techie stuff, is like you can use applications for it for like almost every market. You know, like one of the companies that we do prints for, they're actually out of Hebron. They do custom turbo assemblies, and we 3D print the turbos like so they can get the rough dimensions. Did you just get that?
Yep.
They
just work.
They print them for test fitting the turbos before they move on to casting. And then I was talking to them, and they said that they actually use they send it out to a different company. And I told them we could actually do the material because I looked it up. They do loss casting with prints to make the final turbo housings, because they cast them and then they machine them, which is pretty fucking cool. So yeah, but like I said, like 3D printing is being used in so many different applications, and it's just awesome.
Right. I thought it was a cool application of it.
Yeah, no, I love seeing how other companies are using 3D printing in their day-to-day operations. Like if you guys ever go to our shop, like if you just look around, there's tons of 3D printed stuff in our shop that we use for like packing orders, whether that's holders for different things or jigs or whatnot. Like we use 3D printing in our business. I have tons of 3D printed little stuff around the house too, and in the garage. Like it's such an awesome technology.
Mm-hmm.
A custom crystal maker.
Crystal. Or Krista.
Oh, she's going to kick your ass. Interesting. There are 3 tiers, and you can tweak the parameters for each.
I put the link to it at the right above that post.
Yeah, it's right here. I'm in it right now. Look at that. Okay, can we appreciate it's wild that it may look choppy on the stream, but it's buttery smooth on my monitor here. Like this is all being run on my damn browser right now.
Right?
Like that's wild. Oh, you can add another layer. Oh, look I can just add another layer.
And you can customize it so it does a bunch of different sizes and stuff.
Let's see. Will that like? Oh wait, no, I don't want to save it. Did that change anything? Hang on, let me go back to just like 3 layers and see. This is
generate on the left side.
Oh, you have to hit generate. Okay. Oh, and it just changes every time, so it's a different. Okay, let's see. So if I want to make a giant one, like 400. Oh, that's a chunky boy now. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Right, we've seen a lot of
space random
browser-based generators over the past
couple
months.
This is actually pretty cool. This is a good find, Tor. Look at those giant ones. Let's see. Hang on, 4,000. Hang on, 4,000. Oh God, 4,000. I broke it. I broke it. Let's make it. That was a definitely cursed one.
No, even on stream, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Crystal, you should generate some crystals. Go ahead and generate some crystals.
Some healing crystals.
It would be cool to show off some of the silk filaments too.
Oh my God. Yeah. So Krista can make some crystals now. And anything is whatever you want it to be if you're brave enough. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yep, K2 shipping delayed until November. I think we covered that already, didn't we? This is from September 18th. We covered the K2. Yeah, we covered this already. However, I do have, hang on, let me pull it up. I saw they're starting to ship. Hang on. Ours has not shipped.
Of course not.
No, of course not. We can't be that lucky. But I think it's on this page. Hang on.
We forgot the Q&A. The banner.
Oh, the banner. Hang on. Yeah, because we have banner. There we go. You guys can ask us questions, and we'll give you our stupid answers. So this is their Creality League page, and this is what they posted 8 hours ago. Look at the size of that box. And I see that. Wait, where did Emerson go? Why are people dropping off?
See, it wasn't me.
He's back. But look, you see the AMS. I'm assuming these are the AMS boxes peeking out here. But yeah, this was 8 hours ago. That's a lot of K2s that look like they are ready to ship.
Hey, tripod.
So
I'm
who
excited.
knows?
I want to see that come in. I wanted to use this.
Here, I'll give him a like.
I wanted to use theirs as like an AMS for like my Trident or any of my other clipper machines.
Oh, hey, look
But-
at they have a UPS simulator. Did you see it? They have a UPS simulator. Oh, the AMSs are in the box. Hang on. Here's our UPS simulator. Wait. Are they testing hitting the doors? Did I see that? Hang on.
I believe
this is 20 killer. They're learning. They're learning.
Well, in their video, in their like announcement video with Sam Prentice, they were like having him slam it as hard as they could.
Up, same screen as the K1 Max, which is fine. Hopefully we can get Guppy screen on there. What is? Oh, they're just Did you see what they're doing there?
Filament. Yeah,
they're just yeeting filament through the extruders to see how they hold up. They have a test rig where they're just shoving filament through them.
Hey, Jerry.
This is actually really cool. I don't know how I didn't see this. This was 2 days ago.
It's good to see they're doing a lot better.
Look at this. You can tell this is they're just like, they're testing it. Look at the zip ties.
Oh my god.
It's probably because they don't want to have the cover on in case they got a service in it. I get it. I'm not going to criticize it. It's just funny.
Good for them.
That is a new level. Well, this is like standard Creality jank that people do with the printers.
I'm assuming this is testing the filament cutter. That's what this looks like. And if you notice, this box is also 3D printed. They're just testing the filament cutter.
It's good to see them testing a lot of this stuff.
This is all the control boards. That's the main board. Okay, so we can see here. Someone look this up. I think this says T1113-I. That looks like this is going to be the processor for it. What are the specs on that? T113-I. I bet that's a processor. What is that? Yep, that's an all-winner.
Yep, all winner.
So that is a dual core. So it's a lot faster than what they're putting in the K1s. So dual. It's still only 1.2 gigahertz dual core, which is probably fine.
I mean, you're not going to need much for just running one.
So it can only go up to 256 megs of RAM. So about the same RAM as the K1s because those are 256.
Jesus Christ.
eMMC, Ethernet. So it supports Ethernet. Does video decoding. Okay, so this is a decent little chip.
But isn't that just the toolhead board?
That looks like the processor because it's got Wi-Fi on it.
Yeah.
This looks like this is probably the main control board.
Oh yeah, there's like a USB port and everything. I think that might be the main.
This looks like a test rig that these are on. So
holy cow, Creality is learning.
Yeah, look at that. This is actually impressive. The factory is way cleaner than I thought it was going to be. It must be a newer building.
They did.
Look at them all. Look at them all going. Look at them all going.
Or a new factory going. From what I heard.
Damn.
Stan.
I mean, Creality's been stepping up their game on their machines in general.
Yeah, Bamboo is worse than too. God, that camera is so much better than the Bamboo cameras as well.
Oh, the Bamboo cameras are dog shit. They're absolute dog shit. Yeah, look at them go. We're gonna put them all. Okay, that is awesome for assembly. Having a lazy Susan to build the printer on.
Dude, I'm telling you, these things are the best. I have one next to me for working on printers.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't care that it's taking a little bit longer. It looks like they're taking the time to go through shit. So, yeah. Xavier says, let me know if you get the blue Pet G. I have to order that someone ordered, we had a bunch of it and somebody ordered a shit ton of it, which threw out our estimates on ordering. So, I got to put another filament order in. So it's going to be at least a month before we get that because we have to order hundreds of rolls of filament because it's all custom made for us.
It looks like Jerry got timed out for a second, but did you see the post about Leslie Fleming getting laid off by Xyltech?
Wait,
after
what?
About 10 years of service, highest paid to go first.
Wait, what? Where is that posted about?
Jerry just said it.
Oh, well, that's really sad.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I've interacted with her multiple times because I've bought odds and ends from them. So I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of their filament. Even long before we sold filament, I had tons of bad batches from them. But they're
Who is it?
They're random Ziltech.
Oh,
So
I ran their 5 kilogram rolls for a long time, but then
I
they
had their-
never had them in stock, so I just switched to Polymaker.
I had a print job that was like a 60 roll print job. We bought cases of filament from them, and every single roll of their clear PLA was jamming up our printers, and you could see the shit in the filament that was clogging up the nozzles. And it was a
Yeah.
pain in the ass to get it returned.
Never,
I
I
was
never had an issue.
Color consistency issue with mine.
Yeah, it's really cheap Chinese made filament, but there are other parts they carry like the like I bought lead screws from them because they can custom cut lead screws, and lead screws are a pain in the ass to cut. I've ordered like random odds and ends from them. What just happened to chat there? Just like spammed up on my screen here. All right. So let me go ahead and see if we have any Q&A here. Do you have anything else you guys want to talk about? Oh yeah, you have a rant.
I have a rant.
Hang
that
on.
Creality one.
Hang on. Let's get this ready. You ready? Here you go.
You freaking freaks! When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Just imagine that said Emerson rants, okay? I don't have one for you.
So my never-ending saga with Rat Rig, I will never support
I saw
another
your
fucking
messages.
thing they do.
I saw your messages in there. I'd be pissed too. Like,
And here's the thing. Their fans are just as bad as Foron people and fucking Bamboo people.
oh really? Oh, look at
You
all the
demand
dots in
too
my head
much
for my pins.
perfection, and they're a small company, and it's like, okay, first of all, they've been around for 10 years. This isn't their first launch. This isn't their first,
So it's been a
foray
shit
into
show
the
of a
rodeo.
launch.
And it's something that I kind of blame the consumer too, because we've all accepted this whole new Kickstarter bullshit.
I don't like doing the Kickstarter bullshit.
No,
I don't do
but
Kickstarters, and I don't use my customers' money to fund my projects. The only time like we'll do pre-orders is if I have plunked down my money and I've ordered everything.
no, but
Yeah, stuff is
even
shit.
shit with your Creality K2. The whole I look at several month PLA or several month. I was looking at the word PLA, pre-order deliveries as nothing more than Kickstarter. You're funding that company's final R&D. You're financing them buying all the inventory to build these printers.
Correct.
And I don't get it, because we weren't like that. When something was launched, like CPUs, for example, they would introduce it or they would launch it, right? And then they would say, come July. And then you could order that CPU when it was available. Now, these companies are doing this pre-order shit, and then you wait 2 months, and it's, oh, we're running into a supply chain issue. No, the fuck you're not. I'm sorry. I don't buy the supply chain bullshit.
So hang on.
Don't.
In the 3D printing space, because I've been in this space for almost 10 years now, pre-ordering has been very common, and I've hated it from the beginning. Like, it's been very common because there's like all this, especially when things were new and evolving rapidly, it was very common, but like there's too many variables to do pre-orders on stuff that big. And yes, I see people comment, I got tired of my hair being too long, and I told Krista to just take the shavers and put the number 1 on there and shave it, because I'm tired of paying like $40 for a damn haircut.
I do it. Sarah won't let me cut my hair, but I want to.
Just do it.
I just get the buzzers,
you know
put
what?
the number 5 on there, and just go at it.
You know what? It's honestly great.
Head over the toilet and just go.
Oh, that's a good idea. And you just flush it. Oh, that might clog your drains up.
Nope. Never had to clog my drains.
No, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I don't.
Not
I
yet.
care to for it to clog. It's just a little bit that gets trimmed off.
Wait, John, hang on. Sorry. Back to your rat rig rant.
But anyway, so
where is it at right now, and how much more time are they telling you it's going to be?
well, that's just it. They're being completely non-committal now. They
Oh.
will not. All
But they
they're
were
saying
committal
is
when you ordered, right?
they were. Well, no.
Did they- oh,
So going back when I bought my IDEX, their claim was the web page that I bought my IDEX upgrade from
right. It wasn't
was
supposed to be
not
public or
supposed to be
something
public.
like that.
It was supposed to be
Okay.
private.
Okay,
They
I
claim that
remember that.
they didn't think that Google was going to crawl their website that quickly. But the
Okay, so
problem is,
I'm gonna interject here. Is when you have a page and you're all good e-commerce platforms have what's called a sitemap, and we have a sitemap. You submit that sitemap, or Google finds it on its own, and that sitemap has a link of
it
every
was
URL.
not on their sitemap. That was part of their claim, was they never added it to their sitemap.
No. You don't have to add it. It does. E-commerce systems just put it. So when I make a new product, it just shows up in my site.
Yeah, no, they specifically mentioned something about the sitemap. I don't know about websites, so
I literally build websites. Our website I've built many websites, and typically it's automatic. The system you're on just does it.
oh, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's part of the bullshit they gave me.
Okay. So
So
you don't know when you're going to get it. How much money do you have tied up into this right now?
So total in this printer, I probably have about $4,500 tied up in this printer because I pre-ordered the printer
we've
from
custom built
Fabrico.
an entire printer for my buddy Jeff in less time, and it's going to be done next week.
Yeah. And now don't get me wrong, some of that expense is like I'm changing the board. I'm changing some of the drivers because I got the big 500 cube. I want my Core XY and hybrid steppers to run on 48 volts. Well, the board they ship can't handle that. And of course the steppers can't either. So I changed that up. I'm changing the power supplies around. I'm using the UHPs because they're thinner, so I can put a 48 and a 24 volt in the same spot. And they actually designed their electronics housing. The holes are pre-drilled to do that.
So you can switch. Okay.
Yep. I got a separate 5-volt power supply because I don't trust the 5 volts off the Octopus to run the Pi. I'd rather it have its own. Plus, I have 4 Disco Sticks XXLs, so that needs its own 5-volt power supply. Got a different USB hub. So just like little stuff that I knew I was going to change anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted to have it so when I'm building it, I don't have to tear it apart 7,000 times. So I got that. But originally, they were supposed to ship out Fabrico's order in August. They didn't.
Okay.
And they didn't communicate that to Fabrico. So poor Hector's like, hey man, I don't know what's going on. I can't get him to respond. So then I emailed him. I put on my bitch lips. And I'm like, where the fuck's my printer? Well, you didn't order it from us. I'm like, no, but Fabrico did. And they're your U.S. retailer. So where the fuck's my printer?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, it's getting loaded on a ship now. This was back in early September. And it should hit dock about October 15th. And I'm like, so are you using like a 1700 slaver ship to fucking sail that bitch across the ocean? Why is it taking over a month to get? Then the strikes happen, which isn't their fault. But if they had shipped him when they were supposed to, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
My IDEX, they will not give me a time frame. Refuse. They just say, oh, it's on schedule. It's on schedule. Okay, great. What's that fucking schedule? Because you have yet to give me one. Because the website, when I ordered, said in stock and had no time.
They should have just refunded you, honestly.
They offered me that, but here's my problem.
So why don't you take the refund?
Because I don't want my money back. I want what the fuck I paid for. Because I ordered that printer specifically for the IDEX.
Okay.
I don't need a 500 cubed single tool head printer. I need a 500 cube multi-tool head printer. It's the only reason why I bought it.
I mean, it could be. It could. I'm not excusing, but it could be worse. We had a customer of ours who bought Project R3D's printer that was $15,000, and the damn thing never worked. They literally, we literally had to do a like kind of like a damage report on it, and they're out $15,000, and
Jesus.
the guy won the chargeback, and now he's trying to sell it for like $7,000 to just recoup his losses. It's not even honestly worth that.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
No, I just don't, because all their shit's, it's launched, it's ready, but it's not ready. If your lead time is 8 weeks, it's not ready.
no,
You don't have the parts. You're not ready to sell it.
I don't
Launch
know
it
why
when
you
you're
wouldn't-
ready
they
to
wouldn't-
ship.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't wait until they have it
Yeah.
and they can deliver on it. Like
What they
that's
had
that's what I
was
don't
they
get.
finally had all the shit figured out for theirs. So then they
And then
turn
now they're
around and
scaling
open it up for pre-order. I was like, oh,
Well, no,
okay,
they
so
had
I'm
enough to
financing
ship
your
out
shit.
to YouTubers and stuff, so they could build
Right.
it and get more sales on it. Like I think, who is it? Magic.
Yeah,
Really
I'm not a
pushed it
fan of that
today.
model at all. Like I don't like they should have at the very least they should have got it and started taking pre-orders. They're going to do pre-orders, and this is just my opinion. When they've had everything on order and they have like good ETAs from their suppliers, and or ideally when they actually have shipping confirmation from their suppliers and have tracking numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's it's like the reason I didn't do pre-orders on those plates that are stuck, because shit like this happens where things get stuck in customs and people get pissed, and it sucks as a business, but this is just some of the crap you have to deal with when it comes to running a business. And
Well,
like,
and that would be one thing if it was stuck in customs. That shit I understand. That's not in your control. That's not your fault. You can't even tell me when you're going to ship it out. That's a fucking problem. Don't launch something
for a second.
unless you have it. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
I mean, honestly,
just
if
take
it was
the
me-
refund, but that's not why I bought it. And I'm not looking for the fun aspect of
honestly,
IDEX.
I'm gonna give
I
you a
don't
little
care if
rag
it's fun or
check.
not.
Just cancel it. It's not worth it, because you're gonna get it and you're just gonna be pissed off the whole time while you're using it, because it's just gonna be reminding you that all the shit that happened leading up to it.
But I need it. That's the problem.
You need it. You
I have
need
shit.
it.
I
Do
have
you
shit lined up
need it, or
to
do
utilize
you
that.
want it?
No,
Do
I
you
need it. I legitimately need
Then
it.
why don't you get another IDEX printer that's already on the market?
None that size.
Because I don't know if you heard the
do you need
part
the
where
size?
I have $4,500 invested in this. I don't have another several grand to throw down on something else.
I'm saying if you get a refund, you'll have the money back. What's the
Because
build
I'm not
size
doing
you
that
need
to
for
Hector.
those?
It's not Hector's fault. No, I'm not doing it to him. That's my big thing. It's no different than if I were to order this from you. I'm not fucking you out of several grand.
We took pre-orders on the poly dryers, even though we had a solid ETA from them, and after we missed the ETA that I posted on the site, we ate all the fees if people wanted to cancel, because even
how
those
much were
Polymaker
those?
that fucked up. I mean, we refunded probably about $1,600 in orders.
Okay.
Like we ate all
several
I
thousand.
get it.
I wouldn't do it to you, and I'm not going to do it to him.
I get it, but at the
not his
same
fault.
time, I wouldn't want all my money being tied up. So if you cancel it, and assuming he's paying around a 3% transaction fee, it'd be $135 in transactions fees.
Twice. For the initial.
For 4,500. So it's 4,500 total you have tied up in this, right? So 4,500, 3% of 4,500 is $135.
Twice.
You bought two of them?
No, you get charged
How
the
much
fee
money
when you.
have you?
Tim.
No, you don't. You don't get charged a fee when you refund. You just don't get the fee back.
Yes,
well,
you
then
do.
then you have a shitty credit card processor, or I don't. You're gonna be pissed, but
Double check.
Don't know. Okay, one, you either have a shitty credit card processor, or two, you don't
Probably
know how it
have a
works.
shitty credit card processor.
Because what happens with us with PayPal and Stripe, which are our two payment processors, we just don't get the feedback. So let's just make no, hang on.
That's different. You're not talking about a traditional credit card processor. A credit card processor that a brick and mortar store uses when you go to the gas station and swipe your card,
Okay.
Totally
but what
fucking
I'm saying
different.
is, but
Totally
okay, but I'm saying with Hector, you placed it online.
Uh-huh.
Most
I
credit
didn't
card
use-
processors start at it's like 2.9% to 4% depending on the card, but let's just say it's 3% average
You're saying
plus a
most.
30
That's
cent
not
trans.
true. You're saying you're basing your experience off of PayPal and Stripe. That's two companies. And your average brick and mortar storefront don't use them for their processing.
He
Okay.
uses Shopify.
He uses Shop Pay, which is
Okay.
which is actually lower depending on what plan he's on. It's under 3%. So what I'm
But
trying to
does it
say to
say
you right
but
now,
does it say if he gets charged on refunds? Because
no,
I can
you
tell
just no,
you as being in brick and
you
mortar
do not. Shopify, he uses Shopify. Shopify does not. Hang on,
off
stop,
screen I will
stop.
provide you
No,
our invoices to prove
and
it.
I'm telling. So you need to get a different credit card processor because they're fucking you over. Because Chase
You can't
tried
compare brick and mortar versus online.
He's not
it's
brick and
different.
mortar.
He's not brick and mortar. He's using it online.
And that's fine. If he uses PayPal or Stripe, that's fine. That's
Emerson,
fine.
what I'm trying to say to you, he uses Shopify, which uses Shop Pay. I've ordered from him before. Shop Pay, it starts at 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. If you have a higher tier plan, your fee is less. He does not
30
pay
cents
to
is crazy,
refund.
but
He does not pay 30 cents, 0.30.
No, I know.
Okay, so
Ours
that's
is like
what
4 cents.
Okay, ours is like 30. That's why like ours is 30 cents per transaction. So when people buy a $5 firmware, we were paying almost almost $1 in fees. Anyways, so what I'm saying is merchants should not be paying to send a refund. You just don't get the fees back. So let's say someone buys $100. I'm gonna make $100. It's really easy to calculate. So let's say you buy a $100 order from me. I lose $3.30 on that transaction. Okay. If I then refund that customer, they get all their money back, but the processor keeps my $3.30 in fees. So I lose $3.30 fully refunding that order. Okay. I have dealt with companies. NMI is a payment gateway, which is what a lot of the brick and mortar places use. They're a payment gateway, which that's a whole thing we can get into. It's complicated. It's hard to set up. There's a reason we don't use them anymore. But I have never encountered a credit card processor, even ones that take cards. We actually have one. We have a card reader that we use at shows for in-person transactions. That does not charge us to issue a refund.
Yeah, but who's that through?
That's through PayPal. But it's a different, it's a different company that's owned by PayPal. There's still a separate thing. It's a different system. It's fucking weird. But it's not a PayPal, anyways. So what I'm saying is, if I'm telling you right now, if you guys have a credit card processor that's charging you to give your customers refunds, you guys should leave them because that is not standard.
We've had 4 different processors in the last 20 years, and they all have done it.
Okay, Chase.
I'm just saying.
Because I've gone over this with Chase, because Chase they have in-person and they also have online support. They don't charge to issue refunds. I've looked into these many times. I've gone through many different processes.
Then I will be making calls tomorrow or Monday.
You're getting hosed if you guys are paying.
I just thought it was the norm.
People. No, it's not.
Figured it was the norm.
No, it's not. The norm used to be when I issue a refund, I get all my fees back, and now
we get charged because they consider it a transaction, so we still get charged the fucking 3% on a return.
No. So when I issue a refund,
if I void it same day, I don't.
Okay, so how it works with us, which is why we have the 5% cancellation fee, and why we have so the reason we have restocking fees. So we have 5% cancellation fee because my fee can vary depending on if they're international, if they use Amex, because Amex charges higher processing rates.
Amex
so we just average it out to cover the fees and the time spent to cancel the order. The reason we do that is because once that fee is paid, they keep it. Now, 5 years ago, when I started this business, if I issued a customer refund, I didn't eat anything. The customer got all their money back, and the payment processor didn't keep the fees because the transaction never completed. And then a couple years ago, they got greedy little shits, and they started keeping the fees. And I want to say it was either PayPal or Stripe. One of them started doing it, and now all of them fucking do it. So, Yeah.
Tim's not the father.
So, oh, want to see me lose my shit. But
I
no,
mean,
if you're paying
fees
for
aside, though,
if you're paying
like,
for refunds, that's you're getting hosed. There's better
fees,
processes out there.
even without the fees, like,
So all I was trying to
I
say
just
is, if
I
he
can't in
fully
good faith
refunded you,
cancel that.
then just have him refund you less the fees. That way,
No,
like you only lose a little
I'm just
bit.
saying, fees aside, it's not Hector's fault. I'm not
I
punishing
understand. So
Hector
what I'm
because
saying is, if
they're
it was
fucked.
me, and I really like the vendor, like Amazon, fuck them. They can eat all the shit in the world.
Yeah.
But I would be like, hey, can you just refund me less your fees because I'm tired of waiting.
Oh no, he's earned that money.
Okay, I give up.
You know what I'm saying?
I give up.
Tim, I know what you're saying. My thing
I would.
is, I don't want to cancel the order because I don't think it's fair for me to cancel an order on Vector, even if I gave him cash. So no fees involved. It's not about the fees. It's that I'm not canceling an order on Fabrico because Rat Rig fucked up. So that means whatever Fabrico would have made on my orders.
Hector's not going to take it personally.
I don't care if he's not.
He's
it
not.
has nothing
He's
to do
a
with
cool
it. It's
dude.
a me thing.
Okay, fine. I get.
It's no different than you.
I give up. No,
You
I mean,
said-
like here's so here's the thing. K2, they missed the launch date. I don't care because I got like a good discount on the printer. You're not even getting a discount on the printer. You're just getting hosed.
Also,
Yeah.
like you're looking into reselling these printers, and they wanted us to go through Hector to like get an order all together with both of us to go in, the TH3 and Hector. And
Who,
then
Rat Rig?
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't.
I mean, I get it. It'll help save on shipping and probably all that other shit. If you guys do a group buy, I get it. But yeah, no, I'll never support another Rat Rig project. It's a fucking. If it's not physically in stock, I'm not fucking ordering anywhere. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah. No, that's I'm just saying, like, I get it, like, but you also have a business to run too, and if that money's tied up, that where I'm getting at is, like, if I had that much money tied up and I needed to get a specific piece of equipment and they're not delivering on it and they can't give me an ETA, I'd be like, listen, I got to cancel it, and if you're really want to be nice, be like, hey, just keep the fees, take them out of that. I just need to get the bulk of my money back so I can go buy something else. I mean, that's what I did with the SVO8. I got tired of waiting. I was like, this money's tied up, and
fuck Soval.
Also, they have delays again with
Soval.
Oh, God.
From what I heard, yeah.
on the 08?
Oh wait, yeah.
Really?
Just cancel the.
Should we go into Q&A? We have 3 questions in the Q&A. I was flashing the banner. Whee! I was flashing the banner here. So
yes, Mac, at this point, it would have been a lot fucking
Benchy.
cheaper and quicker to self-source.
Yeah, because you can self-source, can't you?
Oh yeah, they offer the build of materials.
No,
I had a good experience with Hector when I got my Voron. I think I got my kit sooner than what the pre-order had said. But again, it's Rat Rig fucked them. Unless
I get it, but like, I get it, but do whatever you want. I would like. He's not gonna be pissed off if you cancel it. If you're, it's not like it's $400, right? It's $4,500. I thought you were pulling out a bat there for a second.
One of the things I got a big ass box full of shit.
Oh yeah, it's not just that he bought it from that. He also has stuff from Mandela.
Oh yeah, that's right. So then I would have to return my stuff from Mandela, which I don't want to do.
Oh, I see. Yes. I didn't know you bought a ton of other shit. So this is a whole thing. So you're balls deep in this, is what you're saying.
Yes, BWs. Yeah. I have a high moral standard
It's not, dude. It's just about getting the equipment you need.
Yeah.
If you're saying you got all these jobs to do, what if it's a year from now? What's your breaking point where you're just done?
I would. Yes.
I'm serious. What's your breaking point where you're
I have
done?
thought about that. I have thought about that. If I'm looking into it's not going to be here this year, then yes. Sorry, Hector. Whatever you're willing to return, please, homie, take the shit back. But some of the stuff, the Octopus Pro and the drivers, I can use that. That does need to go back. The light sticks, that does need to go back. Some other stuff. But like this specific fancy piece of aluminum is specific to that printer. I don't need it.
So then, okay, hang on. What about taking the money and self-sourcing, or see if Hector can source parts for you as an alternative?
If it gets to that, I might.
I mean, why don't you shoot him an email and ask him?
Because I don't want to yet.
I'm just trying to problem.
I'm being difficult with this. Man, is my sound really like spiky?
It's crackling. Yeah, it's crackling.
Okay.
Turn your gain down a little bit on the mic. It's actually pretty high. Turn it counterclockwise. Yeah, so the Hills have FBA said, what point does the option for option for refund leave the table? That's a good thing too. Like,
right,
at a certain point too, certain payment processors won't even let you issue refunds after a certain amount of days.
Right, and that's again, I have that all in mind. I just don't want to. I just want the fucking printer.
I know that, but like, I'm dead serious. What if it's like 7 months from now?
No,
what if they're like, hey, we're gonna. I'm just saying hypothetically.
If by the end of this month I don't have anything solid, then yes, I'm fucking done. The IDEX got paid through PayPal, and I did that on purpose.
I mean, I wouldn't. No, don't open a chargeback. But
no, that's for RatRig. The IDEX was ordered through RatRig. Because Hector didn't even want to offer pre-sale on the IDEX because they...
Okay, am I the only one who's confused here? Because I thought you said you bought everything through Hector. So who did you give
everything but the IDEX? Everything but the IDEX. Because Hector...
You bought everything but the IDEX through Hector, and you bought the IDEX directly through RatRig.
Correct.
Okay, because when you were talking, I don't know if it's just me, it sounded like Hector had listed it, the IDEX, and you ordered it through him, but it was RatRig that screwed up that page?
Yes.
Okay, so you bought
Fabrico has nothing to do with the IDEX. I spoke to Hector ahead of time.
When is the printer without the
IDEX?
When is the
he's
printer?
Like, I'm not touching that because they won't.
Okay, hang on. We're working through this here because I also need clarification to make sure I got everything. Okay, so you ordered the printer, the 500 printer, and it's a kit, right? Or is it fully assembled?
Yes.
Okay,
no,
so you ordered the kit through Hector for the 500, right? Okay, and then you ordered a bunch of extra parts from different vendors to upgrade it. So you're going to upgrade a
almost everything through Hector.
What did we learn about upgrading printers that were working fine?
It's not working at all because he doesn't have it.
And I digress. So you ordered the printer from Fabrico.
Yep.
When is the printer shipping?
Don't know.
Okay, so that's also okay.
Yes.
So again, hang on. I'm just working through this. I'm just going to ask you questions. Okay, so you ordered the printer.
It's not a slow boat from China.
Okay. Hang
3D
on. So
print. It's a slow boat from Portugal.
So you ordered the printer from Fabrico. There's no ETA on that. You then ordered.
There was originally.
Okay. So there was. Okay. Anyways, that's fine. So and then you ordered the IDEX through this link that wasn't even supposed to be out there, and there's no ETA for that.
Correct.
And you ordered the printer with the intention of getting the IDEX to put on the printer from the get-go.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no ETA on either product.
The ETA.
There's no ETA on the printer.
Is a moving goalpost. It was originally last month. Now it's hopefully this month.
Okay. I'll probably have my K2 before you have anything for that printer.
Probably.
Because honestly, like I have pre-ordered stuff from Creality before, and I've gotten it like it's been a reasonable amount of time. Even when it's been pushed back a little bit, I've gotten my stuff from them, so I'm
Well,
not
that was
worried
like
about it.
that Sunlu filament. I
The
finally canceled
dryer,
that. No,
the filament
the
dryer or the
splicer.
splicer.
Pointer?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Jordan said his was shipping.
I kept getting emails saying
I can't
it was getting
remember.
pushed back and back. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay, just give my fucking
that's
money back.
wild on such a simple product that they can't get that up the door. Man, Tor, you know what you forgot to put in the news? We should talk about
What's up?
that Kickstarter that you sent me the other day.
For what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about that, and then we're gonna go into the Q&A.
Candy.
So okay, so I saw someone giving me shit for telling people to cancel when I've told people not to cancel. I've never told people not to cancel stuff, and I've never prevented our customers from canceling stuff. We've been very reasonable about if ETAs are missed. So I don't know what that, unless I'm missing something.
What K2 is my wife talking about? What the?
She bought a K2. Did you? This was many streams ago. She bought a K2.
I did not know
I'm
this.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she bought a K2. Tor, where's that link that you sent? Now, I'm not big on Kickstarters, but it's also something I was literally telling, I was like, I'm pretty sure we could put together something like this because it's not that complicated of a thing. There's also some drawbacks to it, but I like the idea.
Yeah, I like the idea, but there's some issues that I want to know how they're handling it.
Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna pull it up here.
I'm adding it to the show notes as well.
Yeah, add it to the show notes. And then we'll go into the Q&A. So welcome. If this is your first time on your stream, welcome to our streams. They're all over the place. ADD news. All right, so this, again, I'm not a huge fan of Kickstarter, so I'm going to wait. But this is definitely something, like I was telling Tor, like, if you can do the design, I can do the electronics. So basically, it just switches off the filament, so you can burn up all your filament. It's a cool, simple thing. You can see there's basically two extruders, there's two stepper motors. I'm assuming there might be a third to help push it through. The only downside I see to this is on a Bowden system, when it gets to the point where, like, just because it can feed the filament right up against the other one, the problem is once you get to the point where the new roll is going, the end of the one roll ends and the new roll transitions and it's in the tube, what's going to happen is when you're doing retractions, let's say my arm here is going into the hot end and this is being pushed by the printer's extruder, what's going to happen is when it does a retract, it's going to go like this. So the one in the hot end is not going to get retracted until it pushes it through and melts that filament. That's the only drawback to a system like this on a Bowden machine. On a direct drive, it still happens, but it's much less distance.
Yeah.
To
this
cover.
System has
but,
no connection
so you
to
can see
the firmware.
Yeah, this is just basically, it probably has some sort of pressure sensor that keeps a certain amount of pressure on the filament. But what I'm saying here, this transition point, this is going to make it so your retractions just don't happen, which could cause issues with the print. However, for big, large stuff where you're just burning up tons of filament, it is a cool idea. But like, I figured this was worth mentioning. I will not back Kickstarters, but I think it's a cool idea. It's all 3D printed parts and off the shelf hardware. Like, I'm willing to bet if we open up, it's probably got like an ESP or an Arduino or something, and they're running there, because you can achieve this. Basically, you need a couple of sensors. You need a sensor to know if the filament's present in either of these feeds. You need a sensor to know when it runs out to then start feeding the next one in. I don't think it has a cutter, so you'd have to make sure the end of the filament is like,
yeah, with any
not
of the
all
rolls
messed
that
up.
are like taped in there or like pushed into the side and bent, it's gonna have issues with those.
Yeah. Like this, I mean, this is cool. Like I was telling Torres, like we could probably do this and have this out before them. Like in my head, I can already know how to do electronics. So, and then just be a matter of making a prototype and playing with the software until I get it tuned. But it's all 3D printed. Like it's a very simple device. You just give it power. You got a couple of stepper drivers. There might not even be another motor in here. There could be. But
no, I don't think there is. I think it's just two.
Yeah, so it's probably just a couple of micro switches with a bunch of micro switches to detect where filament is and where filament isn't, and then just code to like drive it through, and maybe like some sort of pressure sensor to determine if it needs to keep feeding the filament or not, or like, you know what I mean? There's like probably some sort of buffer, like what's on the back of the AMS, that little spring thing. That's like kind of a buffer. I don't know if you know this. I found this out when I was working on my X1. If you take the PTFE off and the filament loses pressure, the AMS just starts shoving tons of filament out.
I didn't. Oh, I think it was like CookieCAD was doing something to use that to re-spool their filament.
So, but yeah, it's a cool idea. I think it's like $140 or something like that. Where's the pricing here? Is it?
That's kind of.
Oh, hang on. I think I clicked this because I zoomed in. Hang on. Back this product. 135, and they're saying it's gonna. Yeah, there's not been that many.
Or 2 motors.
I mean, like parts wise, you're probably looking at like $50 on the high end for the electronics plus the printed stuff. So it's actually not a terrible markup. Like I think it's pretty fair. So, but yeah, definitely something I was like, we could not easily, but we could definitely make something like this. Like, Tor could do design. Tor's way better at designing the 3D parts than I am. So, but I figure it was worth mentioning. I'll give him a shout out. I have no idea who these guys are. But it's something cool to play with. I'm not going to back it on Kickstarter. But I just thought it was worth mentioning. Some people might want to buy it. I don't do Kickstarters. I've been burned by too many Kickstarters. I've lost probably about $2,000 on Kickstarters over the years.
Maybe there's like a micro switch in the custom extruder they have. So as soon as it clicks out, yeah.
You could just put a micro switch. You could just put a micro switch at where you feed it in, and once it runs out, as long as it's quick enough at changing it in, it's literally 2 stepper motors on here. Like you can see the labels. They're just 2 standard. These look like they're the OMC
pancakes. Yeah,
there's 2 little pancake motors, and these are like 3D printed extruders. I would probably use an actual off-the-shelf extruder instead of 3D printing it. So
you can get a good 3D printed extruder with like a Bondtech gear.
Oh yeah, do the Bondtech gear set. That's fair. So, but yeah, just wanted to mention this. It's a neat thing. If you guys are not afraid of Kickstarters, you can try it out.
If we could somehow have
Infinity.
Oh, what was that?
God, what was that?
It was their thing. So I just want to show. So like, yeah,
those
are
some dude bros in mom's kitchen.
So yeah, so it's got a little detector, and then it starts feeding the other roll. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a neat idea. The biggest thing will be keeping up with the flow of the printer, and it's gonna vary obviously. But if you have a sensor to monitor if the filament basically has tension on it,
I'm betting.
Yeah, that's what I'll be curious. They probably have some sort of buffer in it, like the AMS has. So, like, we look at like hang on. I think they sell it as a separate part. The filament buffer.
I'll laugh if there isn't.
They probably have something like this in there, which is on the back of the Bamboo. The X1 and the P1s have these, and this allows it to just have some buffer of the filament for the retractions and stuff. So just a little simple module like this. So
is that a spring?
Yeah, there's like a spring. And there's a bunch of sensors in here to determine the position of the spring and if it needs to feed more or not.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or just
do we have anything? Do we have any? Yeah. I mean, for a longer print, I could see that being beneficial. Or I just want to throw it on and be done with it.
Get rid of.
I'm sorry if you're hearing that. Yeah, that's what I could see. Like you're just printing something. You don't care if it's a bunch of different colors. You're just printing a big thing that maybe you're going to paint or something. You can just use it to burn those up. Literally, I don't use our AMS on the X1 to like print multicolor. I use it just to burn up all the low spools.
Literally, only reason I'm using the Bamboo right now is because this print is multicolor. It's green hexagons on the front of the face.
Yeah. I would just throw that out. I would just throw that out. That's not even.
This is the closest I've been able to get a 5 kilogram roll down.
So
but I've had tons that I have just not enough to print another part.
Yeah.
And but I've got several of them. So it's like, that's why I wanted that Sunlu filament
To
splicer.
splice
So
'em?
then I could,
If you could
I mean,
integrate
See,
that,
Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be
be cool. But it's called the palette. Mosaic made it. And they're a
Yeah.
pain in the fucking ass.
I had the Palette 2S Pro, and it was actually pretty good, but I sold it because I didn't use it. All
I
right,
have
let's
two
get
of
into
them.
the.
AMS.
We're at
So
out.
before
Hey,
that,
we're
before
at,
speaking of that, I want to build the box turtle or the armor turtle or whatever the hell it's called, which is like the Voron-esque. I don't think it's from Voron, but it's like a Voron-esque AMS type system. And it
is the
looks really good.
Python AMS that like janky ass looking like box? I'm pretty sure that's what I'm thinking of, and it's like huge and doesn't even look good on the printer. I saw the video. Yeah,
The
this thing
box
is just
turtle, yeah.
so damn
Box turtle.
big. The Python AMS, yeah.
No, the box turtle.
Okay, no, someone in the chat said
No,
he
it's
changed it out.
a
I hate,
actual AMS mod.
yeah, the Python. It's a mod. You just, yeah, I don't like how it looks. It looks very janky. All right, let's go into the questions because we have 8 of them now. The first one's from a bit nuts. He says, "My 2 trees SK1." Well, it's a 2 trees printer. That's probably why it died again. So I've decided to replace the electronic guts with a Kraken board, CB2, EBB tool board, and a micro probe, and a Panda Revo with a custom bracket to mount it all. I'm following a channel called Printing Perspective. He mentions
How
his
big is
build
that
and gives
printer?
I have no idea. Hang on. He mentions his build and gives a parts list to SEL. My question is, he used CAN bus. I have no desire to use CAN bus for many reasons. Hey, Tor, how's CAN bus? Hey, Hammerson,
I
how's
still
CAN
haven't
bus?
gotten back to that.
Yeah. I want to go USB. How much do I script the config, including printer config, if I do that? You're just going to have to change it out for your tool head board. It's not going to be that hard.
Yeah, using a
change it out.
Nighthawk is easy.
Yeah.
It's
And
just another
I think
MCU.
even
Yeah,
the
you're just-
EBBs, the 32 and the 44 or whatever the other one
So
is.
you're basically
they
just
are
going to
capable
delete
of both.
all. You're basically just going to delete the config. Well, actually, you don't even need to delete it. Just change the MCU line out to the USB MCU, and then update all the pins for
Yeah.
whatever you're converting over. So, like, if you're the tool head board, your stepper driver pinouts, your heaters, your thermistors, your fans, you just change it out to whatever that uses. So, not super complicated.
But why a Kraken?
I don't know. That's what he's using.
Is it
Andy Terry says, "What's the difference between
driver?
firmware versions 2.48 and 2.9?" I'm not trying to be a dick, but there's a ton. You can actually read our release notes, and it's linked. If you click, I don't know if many people know this because they might not have realized it's a link or they haven't clicked it. So if you're wondering what the difference is between like firmware versions, we have
What's
full
changed,
release
yeah.
notes on. So like I'm on our site here. So if I go to the firmware here, so if you're like on our store page where you can actually get the firmware from, you can click on any one of these, any of the current ones you see here. Currently, the Unified 2 firmware release is 292A. So if I click this, it goes to the release page. So you can see we have release notes. And then I put this on here because people would download it. And it's like, it doesn't work, like, because the printer configs are not on this. But we do have everything that's changed. 2.90 going from 2.4 to 2.90 is a huge jump. So this is all the new stuff that we've added. Other notes, this is just like what we removed for old configs. This is all the Marlin updates that got integrated.
Holy shit.
And then, yeah. And then, like, we have release notes going back. We don't have all of them, but we have most of them. I think, yeah, 202. Yeah, it was when we moved over to GitHub. So we have release notes going all the way back to 204, I guess, technically, because I don't have any release notes. This is from 2020. So you can go here, and he said he's on 242, so you can go back and see everything else, like where we do all the development open. So 242 is this one here. So this is the one you're on, and so everything after this is what has been done. So 2.9 was a major update. I can't remember what the last major update is, but major update, I mean, we did a complete update on the code that everything is run on top of, meaning we pulled in the latest Marlin code base, which is 2124. So our latest firmware out right now is 2.1, is based on Marlin 2.1.2.4. And we did actually add a lot of new stuff. So yeah, I think it's worth upgrading. Just the new easy offset wizard, which I posted a video a couple days about, is so nice. Like, we literally updated we're updating all of our printers in the print farm to use it because it does such a good job at compensating for screwed up x-axes and just setting a good offset and making sure you get a good first layer on ABL. Josh says, I got the X1C lights working. I was wondering if there's a way to hook them up and still the stock light. If you want to burn your board up, that's a great way to do it. Do not run the stock light and our lights. Anybody that tells you or anybody that sells you a product that's going to hook them both up, they don't care that it's going to damage your printer. Bamboo has said it'll damage your printer. Our testing has shown that it'll damage your printer. It'll overload that circuit, just one or the other. There's a reason we don't sell splitters. There's also, sellers that just don't give a crap selling on Amazon and eBay and AliExpress where they'll sell you this long ass strip of lights to plug into there. It will overload the board. So we've had exactly 0 complaints about our kits damaging the boards. So I try to sell people products that don't damage their boards. So, and it actually worked. Off Axis says, I can't get away from my large PLA prints lifting the corners off the glass bed. I use glue stick. He's got a bed leveling probe on there, CR Touch. You're depending on how big the prints are, you might have to enclose it even for PLA. The whole reason my 5 Plus is in an enclosure is because on large, especially large flat prints, they're going to come up even with tons of glue, even with the best build plate, they're going to pull up because PLA still shrinks. It's not as bad as ABS, but when you start printing on any printer and you have a large flat part, it's going to want to pull up from the bed, and eliminating drafts, like even something just as simple as like throwing a box over, like you got a giant cardboard box or something, don't run it unsupervised because it's potentially a fire hazard. But I've seen people where they just throw a cardboard box over it just to eliminate the drafts. Or they buy one of those, like those little cheap grow tent type ones. I'm not a huge fan of them. But they do a good enough job for keeping drafts out. So
You talk shit about grow tents.
Yeah, I see your giant grow tent. But yeah, Insanity Automation makes a good point. Yeah, the bed temps also drop at the edges. That's the other thing. You can also try insulation, and this is not going to be a for sure fix, but you can also get, and we sell insulation to go on the bottom of your bed. It can help, but depending on your environment the printer's in, it may work, it may not. But insulating the bottom of the bed will also help even out the heat and retain it as well. All my big printer beds have insulation on the bottom of them just because it makes them more efficient and it dumps less heat out. And it helps them, even out the heating. So, yeah. But I don't know what kind of environment you're in. In my office, it's pretty stable here. I can get away with large flat prints on that sometimes, but even sometimes it's too much. And especially if it's cooler in the room, I'm also almost guaranteed to get lifting on that printer that's not fully enclosed if I'm doing a large flat print. So,
Tim, you haven't converted Insanity to bed cement? For shame.
I have not. I don't think he follows us too closely. I talked to him earlier today.
I told he just posted about Vision Miner.
Vision Miner's good adhesive. It's just damn expensive, and their bottles suck. Like that's why we made our own, because I like being able to just dab it on my bed.
Yeah,
instead
Vision
of having
Miner's
to use a paintbrush.
Like what, $40 or something?
Yeah, they're like $45 for a bottle the same size as ours. So, yeah. See, Joe's Car, where do we ship from? We're based out of Hobart, Indiana. We do not drop ship anything. If we have it on our site, I literally have it in my shop. So,
no,
Peter,
there's a 3 to 6 month turnaround on your order.
We're not
no
refunds.
refunds.
Peter is asking what my opinion on his clipper these days. Have I changed my mind, and what the hell is twist compensation? So, as far my mind on their community is still, I just don't step foot in their community because it's a bunch of neckbeards that talk down to people. But as a firmware, I like it. However, I still think entry-level users should not be messing with it until they get more comfortable and more knowledgeable of the printer, because it is a cool firmware. Don't get me wrong. I love that I can take multiple MCUs and multiple boards and combine them into one printer build. However, it is not super user-friendly. And I don't know if it'll ever get to be super user-friendly. I mean, Marlin's not super user-friendly unless you're using like ours, but the learning curve on it is very large, and their documentation is not always up to date, or doesn't make sense, or there's gaps in it and you got to kind of figure it out on your own.
Their documentation
They still
it's
tell you to use
worded in a way
octoprint.
that
They still
they
tell you
think
to use
you already
octoprint.
know.
Well,
Unless
here's
they change that. As of like 2 months ago when I looked at their docs, they still tell you to set up octoprint
Yeah.
to use Clipper, which has
One
not
thing
been the
that-
way for years.
an issue. If you go on their GitHub for their example configs, they don't give you all the pins for the boards. That you're
No,
using.
and that was one of the reasons that I was like, screw this, because we make our own control board. The Easy Board, we are the only company in the entire planet that sells that. We wanted to provide an easy config with stuff commented out like the BL Touch or the NeoPixel, stuff that people won't use. They wouldn't let us commit that to the repo, even though it's our own damn board. Even though it would
And
make
because
people's...
you wouldn't provide your personal email and some other goofy shit.
No, that wasn't it. It was just that they wouldn't... No, that was GitHub. But no, it doesn't matter. I put our email and stuff. I use our support email. The whole issue was... No, the whole issue was he's like, this should be a bare bones config.
Why?
Because just because I said so. And by I said so, I mean the Kevin or whatever his name is. So
Yeah. He's a douche like his followers.
Yeah,
but
I had to make a custom config for the 427 board because their basic config is missing a ton of pins for different things.
Yeah.
Like you get your heaters and your motors and your end stops, and that's it. Like you don't get
There's
the
no
5-pin
steppers?
header.
You don't get the steppers? Do they have the steppers?
I said
at least?
motors.
Oh, motors. Sorry.
So yeah, I had to go into Marlin, dig through the pins files to get all the different pins for like the 5-pin header and things like that. Whereas Marlin, it's just all there. It may be more to recompile and set up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Unified.
That's a good point because Marlin has all the pins typically defined for all the boards, whether you're using the features or not.
Yep.
But Marlin handles different. But my whole thing was, why can I not just have all the pins defined and all the sections defined and comment it out? So if somebody just wants to use a certain section, like a BL Touch or a NeoPixel or filament sensor, they just uncomment the line instead of having to put it all in and type it out themselves. Like that was the
because
whole point
they need to go to your GitHub and look at the pinouts and do it themselves.
Yeah, So, like, I have Clipper on this. I've done custom builds with Clipper. Like, I'll use it, but I have nothing to do with the core project because they're just insufferable to deal with. And he says also, second part of his question, what the hell is twist compensation? So if your x-axis is twisted, and it's like, I'm exaggerating, like even just a small amount of twist can throw off your bed leveling probe from getting a good mesh. It'll compensate for that. So the Easy Offset Wizard takes 3 measurements. It's actually using Marlin's X-twist compensation on the back end, and it also sets the offset, which is why we took it and used it as the Easy Offset Wizard, because it just takes care of any issues. So, and it's one of those things where if you run on a printer that doesn't necessarily have a very twisted X-axis, it's not going to hurt to have the compensation on. And if you have a printer that has a twisted X-axis, like the SV06 and the 06 Plus are horrible with those, like those i3 style printers, even Prusa printers as well. There's also the whole reason I started looking into utilizing that feature in Marlin, because it's been there for a little bit now, is because Chris's printer, her SV06, was always higher on one side and the other. I spent hours squaring up the frame, making sure the gantries were all level, and I was getting ready to just like, okay, either just use it like this or I'll give you a different printer, because it's been bounced around, it's been brought to shows, it's been banged up. There's something off that I can't see or really measure. And then I was like, I'm going to try this as last year's effort. And I was like, holy crap, this is good code. And this is awesome. So
awesome.
3M experience. I'm going to delegate this to you, Tor. He says, are there any decent USB toolhead boards that are not temperature sensitive?
Yes.
I've been using the Nighthawk for, God, it's been a while now. I think just about since this came out.
Is that who makes that?
That is the LEO Nighthawk board.
Okay, because I have their O2 toolhead board on that printer. It's nice. It doesn't seem to care about temperatures.
This is also a good one too.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Cat, if you see
behind the cat
right here, I've had it.
Yeah,
for
put a
months
fan
now.
on the toolhead board. It wouldn't hurt.
I do have a small fan on the toolhead board. It's like I think Emerson and I talked about it, But it's gotten up to like 82C without any issues. No disconnection.
It's gonna shorten the lifespan of the board, but
I am running
it's
it in
electronics.
an actively heated chamber.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Like, and here's the thing: you're still probably going to get a couple years out of these if the board's designed correctly. But in general, electronics, the hotter you run them and the environment they're in, the shorter the lifespan is going to be. They just break down. So
Can I?
This is very important. Get some air flow. So this is
that's one of the ones we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's nice about the LDO toolhead boards is they're USB.
Yep. I will not touch CAN bus. I've heard way too many people from you two and other people I've talked to. The CAN bus just seems like a shit show. So,
and what I'm curious whenever I get this motherfucking rat rig, because it has the EBB 443, whatever the hell it is. That's the one they chose, but it runs in USB. Now I had the EBB 36, which is just a different shape essentially of that board.
Okay.
Running in CAN bus. What I didn't know was you can run those boards in USB as well. So I'm curious how those boards hold up in the heat running USB versus CAN bus, because I have a feeling the CAN bus controller in the end is what's the most sensitive to the temperature versus the USB controller.
Here, Tor, this is a good point here. So a fan is rated for 45C and starts hitting a derating curve after that. So at 70C chamber temp, the fan could last under 500 hours. He's not wrong, because the bearings also don't like heat.
Yeah.
So depending on how hot you're running your chamber. I mean, here's the thing. Bottom line, things that are electronics and, especially fans, control boards, they're going to have a shorter life. Whether that's, a year or 5 really depends on how the board's designed and how hot you're running it. So
it really depends on what I'm printing at the time. Most of the time I'm not using the heated chamber, but I have it in those cases that I want to print like really fancy filaments.
So
I have like the fiber online behind me.
Yeah, see, and that's my Voron and my Merc 1. Those are ABS only. That's all they run is ABS and ASA nonstop. And they have
ABS
tool
I'm
boards.
not using it.
And they're
in Standing Automation, he deals with a lot of industrial printers, and he would be the one to know. He deals with crazy expensive high temp materials. So
and he's the one who said if you scroll up, he said there's really no alternative to IDEX.
Yeah,
he said it's just the way to go.
No. Okay, 3D Experience says, have you tried and can you recommend any Z offset system? I have not tried any, and so I can't recommend them. Tor, have you messed? I think the only one you really messed with is the one that came with the SV08, and that wasn't great, was it?
Wait, what's going on?
Auto Z offset systems.
I have it on I added it onto one of my Mercury ones, and that's been pretty good. You need to have a wiper, because if there's any filament or anything, it's going to throw off your Z offset. It's going to be annoying.
Yeah.
On the SV08, it's been pretty good. Like, it's not perfect, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
I honestly don't care, because I don't mind. I mean, like, I don't mind setting, like, here's the thing. If your offset drifts a lot, it's usually a mechanical issue with the printer, assuming your probe is working correctly. Because like there's printers we've had in the shop that have been run through, freaking, years of just hard printing. And then we go and do a tune up. We change all the bearings out. We, change the belts out, just go through the printer, tighten the frame up. And then it's like, oh, wow, we can just click and print. We set the offset once and then click and print. That's been my experiences. Usually if you're having tons of like drift, it's usually because the printer needs maintenance. So
well, here, let's check out what my pro accuracy is right now.
Have any of you guys, 3 Experience also asked, have any of you guys tried the HueForge multicolor? He got a license to try it out. I have not. I think Doug has it.
I should have bought they had like a really good sale. I should have bought a license.
Did they have a sale? Okay.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah
I
uses
haven't
it.
messed with it. I could probably get that for Krista. She'd probably like playing with that.
It produces some really cool prints. Sarah's made some pretty awesome stuff with
Yeah,
that.
no, it's an awesome piece of tech. I've seen the prints that come off of it. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
My buddy Gabe, he's printed visions on here. You'll see him pop in. He does a ton of them, and some of them I was like, I thought they were pictures. They were so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some of the ones we saw at Rocky Mountain were
Yeah.
incredible.
It's awesome. It's not
With the
something
huge
that, like, I think it's cool. Is it something that I personally would probably do? Probably not. But yeah, it looks cool.
Sarah even bought this sensor, so any filaments that
I have the
The
sensor.
TD one.
yeah, that don't have
Yeah.
the number you need for it, it'll scan the filament and
I don't know how much people would care, but I got one because my plan was to take all of our filaments and put that data on the product page.
probably not a bad idea.
No, it's just a time consuming, and we got to open all
Right,
the,
just
we gotta
whenever you
open
have
every-
free time, just scan a couple,
Yeah,
put
put
it
some on
and-
there. I mean, also too, like I could be like, you know, if someone's asking, I'd be like, hang on, I'll go open a roll and check it. So
I mean, it's pretty consistent.
yeah, that's fine. Is that the nozzle offset? I thought it had a little sensor in the back.
No, this is just for the inductive probe on there.
Oh, okay. I was
know if
he,
it
so he was talking about he was talking about auto Z offset. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're probably not gonna be able to test that without writing a macro. Three experiences. Will you try any multicolor system that can use with various printers? My plan is when I get the K2 is screwing with their AMS on different other printers.
I plan on building a armored turtle or box turtle or whatever the hell it's called. So I'll probably build that on stream.
I'll let you do that first and be the guinea pig. I'm gonna do what's called pulling a Doug, which is waiting for Tim to do something and then seeing if it works out or not, and then doing it yourself if it does. So you're my Tim and I'm Doug in this situation.
No, it should
Just
be
like-
fun. From what I've seen,
Just
it
like
looks
the
pretty
Mercury
good.
ones. All right. Nikki says, where do I find my E-steps? I'm getting ready to update my Ender 3 V2 firmware. I'm new to 3D printing. So if you're using our firmware and you haven't changed the extruder, it's all pre-configured. If you're changing extruder out and the manufacturer didn't, I'm typing, I can't type and talk at the same time. If you didn't get the E-steps from the manufacturer, most manufacturers will give it to you. Fuck yeah, we're number one on Google for E-step calculator. We also have an E-step calculator. So you can just Google E-step calculator. Our link is actually number one on there. I just did it on Brave Search and ours and on Google, and ours is number one. You can use that to calculate your E-steps. Most extruders don't require calibration if they've given you a baseline E-step. Like they get you pretty damn close. So the only time I've calculated E-steps is when I have an extruder that I don't know the value for. So
LDO, my orbiter too, they were right, like dead nuts.
Yeah, if the man, it doesn't take long to calibrate it. It takes like 10, 15 minutes. Throw some.
We have
filament in
a
there and
rotation
measure.
distance
Oh yes, rotation.
calculator as well.
We have
Pretty
it. Yeah,
good.
so you can. Yeah, if you guys are Clipper, let's see where this one shows up on the Google search results.
Insanity. Most AMS systems.
Oh, I started typing rotation distance, and it started recommending it. We're number 3. The first one is some weird site. Oh, this is a horror. Okay, this is janky. So we're right under the official Clipper documentation for Clipper rotation distance calculator. So we have. We also have like a bet. I don't know if people are aware of this. This is all free stuff. So it's not like I make money on it. We don't run ads on our site. But we have like on our help center, we have an E-step calculator, which you can plug all your stuff in. So let's say you had 95 and I only got, I got 102. It'll give you the new E-step value and even give you the command to change it over G-code for Marlin. And then if you're doing, we also got the input shaping calculator here. There's a guide and everything and pre-sliced files. This is actually linked on the official Marlin input shaping docs. And then we have a rotation distance calculator. So let's say I'm running my, our Tough Extruder V2. I can type 407, and now my rotation distance is 7.8624 for Clipper. And you can change the micro stepping, whatever your driver is running in, and even your motor type, and it just calculates it all for you.
Insanity. Most of the AMS systems have the same retraction jamming issues as the old Y splitters do. Small PLA prints, who cares? Big PC prints with the TPU bumpers embedded.
Yeah.
With I think it's whatever the hell it's called, armored box, the turtle thing AMS that's clipper based. They have you add. You can do the retraction base like the old Y splitters do. You have to do the tip forming, or you can add a bamboo cutter to your tool head, and there's already mods.
Yeah, I've seen people do that. So the last tool we have, which is probably my favorite one, is the ABL mesh and safe home and calculator, because they literally just don't help you with this. So like, let's say I'm doing like an under 3, and I'm putting in my offsets here, and then I think that's the one. You can just punch in your...
Yes, we do. It's in our GitHub.
Yeah, our configs work. So you can hit calculate, and then look at this. It gives you all the stuff to paste in your config files. Isn't that great? And it tells you what you entered too. And you can go back to the calculator. Yeah, for our... So if I go to our help center here, for our easy boards, if you go here, there is Clipper config examples for the V1 and the V2. If you go here, we have details here, but you can just go to the Clipper EasyBoard Clipper repo here. And oh, I need to update that link. We moved it here. At least I put a link there. Oh wait, hang on. I'm just going to update this right now. Hang on, how's that? Because remember we had the easy boards on the separate GitHub, and we just merge it because we're building out stuff for making Clipper easier.
It is a waste, but it is insanity. It is a waste, but it does work better than tip forming.
Yes, JD CCC 26. They have been tested. I have 2 SVO6 running Clipper with his boards. I have 2 Ender 3s.
I've used
with
them
his
on
board running Clipper.
We actually just did a stream a few weeks back where Tim was doing his Mercury 1 with our easy board and Clipper.
Yep, I'm updating that link on that page so you don't have to click 2 links.
And a bit nuts to answer your question. I have considered it.
There we go, it's updated.
But I kind of want to just gut the printer itself and put a better board in.
So anyways, here, I just updated that. I forgot we had that old repo linked on the doc, but I just updated the support doc here. So anyways,
did you get your config, JD?
EasyBoard Clipper config examples. So if you go here, EasyBoard Clipper GitHub repo, it takes you to this page, and you can see here what this is. But there's a configs folder here, and then we have board specific, and here's EasyBoard V1, V2. We even have pre-compiled firmware here, so you can just drop this on the SD card and flash it, and then we have a generic printer config here with all the stuff. So I wanted to submit this config to, you see we have stuff commented out with like notes on what it does.
Yeah, I updated that, and we can't submit it to the main.
We wanted to submit this to the official GitHub repo, or not GitHub, the Clipper GitHub repo, and they said nope, it has to be bare bones. So this is where you can go to get it. It's on our Easy Clipper GitHub repo here, and you could just download the file and then edit it for your machine. And this config works. So, yep.
Can confirm, because I actually used this one for my Mercury 1.
Yeah, and I use it for the Beast build. I use it for my Mercury 1 build. It works.
Yeah.
So
2 SVO6s, 2 Ender 3s.
Yeah. And the whole reason I'm assuming he went and got it, I don't think he said where he got it from, but I like to have control over the code and stuff that drives my products, and I feel like it's not fair to us when we're the manufacturer saying, "Hey, this is the config we want for our board, put it in the repo," and they go, "No, you got to strip all this crap out." It's like go away.
Yeah.
Like, you guys
why would you not want every available pin defined?
It just doesn't
make sense.
And let's say hypothetically, let's say I had a fucked up config. It literally only affects my customers. Who are my customers going to go and complain to? They're going to go complain to us. Like, no, we're not submitting it to anybody else's repo. We're maintaining ours. So that Easy Clipper repo is where we're going to put in stuff. And I also have stuff too, like a drop-in config that adds a bunch of essential macros, like it brings G29, M48. Like I've been working on this on my own Clipper machines to make it so we have one config file to just improve your Clipper experience and make the printer behave how, in my opinion, it should behave, with correct macros for like filament changes, like proper working filament changes. Because
That's because you didn't use KO.
Okay, but KO is installing somebody else's macros with that.
Yeah.
I want to have it so, hey, just dump our config in here and the printer is going to function how it should in terms of how it reacts to certain things like filament running out and homing and, you know, certain G-code commands. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's my goal. So, yeah. He still didn't answer where he got the config from.
No. Well, you are pin PC11 on.
So, like, here, I'll even pull
what
this up.
stepper?
It's the printer's not on. I have it on easy plug so I can shut it off, but which is why it shows error. But I can go in here and pull up my printer config. Oh, that's a lovely shot of the hot end just dying. So I can go here, pull my printer config up, and here we go. So this is my config I'm running on this printer right now.
Do a Control F and search for PC11.
Okay. It's in multiple ones. So his thing is screwed up because this works perfectly fine. He might have. I wonder, is he using a freaking Sonic pad that's running like an outdated version of Clipper?
If it's a UART pin,
because like
it's okay for it to be.
Oh, I hard turned. I'm not going to turn it on because I don't know if the hot end's all screwed up. I turned the printer power off when I saw it just kill itself. So, but you notice here how none of this is updated? Because it's working, I'm not touching it. I don't care if it's updated. Yeah. No, there could also be some stupid thing like maybe you fat fingered a space somewhere because that's a thing. If there's like an extra space, do you remember that, Tor? The config file?
Yeah.
Where there were extra spaces and it was screwing up the format.
Creality stock config had extra spaces in it and it was throwing errors.
On their own damn product. Yeah.
Firing up my SV06s right now because now I'm curious.
Now you're curious?
No, I'm curious.
It sounds like using Linux in the 90s. Yeah, it's a fair comparison.
No.
Also make sure you're using the latest Clipper. That might be an issue.
Maybe not as bad, but it's not user friendly. You're not compiling from source, but it's not super user friendly.
You make it sound so much harder than it is. It's really
only
not
easy.
that bad.
I can set
My
it up.
dumbass could figure it out.
Yeah, but how long did you struggle before you got to the point where you can just set them up? Because it took me a while to get through that learning curve. There's a huge learning curve with Clipper.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. There's a huge learning curve. But once you get through the learning curve,
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to get through the learning curve.
When you're compiling only off of your firmware, yeah, completely different because it's click, 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 compile. But when you're compiling mainline Marlin,
oh yeah, but I haven't compiled mainline Marlin. The whole reason our firmware exists is because I didn't want to deal with mainline Marlin. Right. Like even when we'll do custom printers that run Marlin, we will start with we'll get a config that is close to what we're working with in terms of the board and then modify it from there just so the experience is the same as on any other machine. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Mainline Marlin versus Clipper. Clipper's way easier. Way easier.
They're different kinds of hard because Clipper, you're dealing with a Linux system and a bunch of other components. Marlin, you just have to learn Marlin. You don't have to deal with Moonraker. You don't have to deal with the Linux OS. You don't have to deal with Clipper itself. You don't have to deal with Clipper screen or fluid or a mainsail. Like there's tons of parts of Clipper and they all have to play nice together and updates tend to break things.
You see if I can.
That's why I'm not updating. Yeah, the one thing I will say I do like about Clipper is being able to change stuff on the fly, hit save, and then it restarts the boards and done. You don't have to recompile. But I'm also the person that it's not a huge selling point to me because I'm not somebody who's constantly changing my printer. I build the machine, I run it. When something breaks, then I'll update it. And typically when something breaks, I'll replace it with the same thing or something similar enough where I never have to mess with, I'll never have to mess with the config. So, everybody does their own thing. I don't hate Clipper as a firmware. It's just the community and the developer are just insufferable that are behind it. So that's why we just do our own thing. We stay over here on our little corner of the internet and do our own thing. I've given up. I've tried to, contribute stuff to the project, with just starting out with configs. I was like, okay, if you guys are anal about a simple config for my own product that I'm the only one who sells it, I'm the only one that has to deal with support on it, then I'm not dealing with you guys. We'll go do our own thing, which is what we did. I was about to say something else here. We should wrap this up. We're hitting the 2-hour mark though.
Yeah,
Corey,
I'm
you
hungry.
got. I gotta use the bathroom too. So, you got your kitty snacks?
They're
kitty
in my
yogurt?
fridge.
You got the kitty
Tabs
yogurt?
used them.
Yeah, the UART pin is going to be listed multiple times because they all are on the same bus. They just have different addresses on the bus. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
So the UART is the protocol. It's a serial protocol that the CPU uses to communicate with the drivers to set them into different currents and set the different stepping modes and control the drivers and do sensors homing and all this stuff. That's all done over the UART. So they're all on the same UART bus. They just have different addresses and there's different resistors configured by each driver to set it on a different address.
I'd love to
make sense?
figure out how I can get a hold of his config and his
I still
his
have one
Clipper
of these.
log file.
Look what I have, and this still works.
Gee.
Yeah, the V1. This thing still works. That's why it's in my drawer. I'll probably use it for another build. And I also have the V2 here. I've got all sorts of boards. I got a whole drawer full of boards here. So, but all right, we're at the 2-hour mark. We gotta wrap this up because it's 7 p.m. here. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I hope you guys all had fun. It is a very ranty stream today between you and I. Seriously though, look at your payment process. I feel like they're hosing you. I'm serious. So,
No,
yeah.
I just figured it was the norm because we've switched processing companies over the years, and it's why, depending on the ticket, we'll just hand them cash, so I don't have to worry about the fees.
Yeah, I would definitely look into that because, like, not even PayPal does it. That seems like such a PayPal thing to do.
Right?
Like, I figured, you know what I mean? Because they bought out Zettel. Zettel is who our card readers through, and they're like a subsidiary of PayPal, and they don't even do that. So, but all right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys got anything else to add before we say goodbye? The kitties got their treats. I don't have the dogs out here with me. Chris has got them in the house, I think. Yeah, they're.
I need to get different treats.
We got the cat Gogurts, so. Oh man, SVO70 running mainline Clipper. I would definitely see if you're updating. If you updated,
Yeah, it does work on mainline.
Yeah. Does the SVO7 have mainline? I have an SVO7 sitting in the box that John sent me like a year ago. I have not even unboxed it. He hated it so much. He's just like, you want it? I was like, yeah. I was like, how about I send you a label and you ship it to me? He's like, okay. It could be completely damaged in there. I don't know. What if it's not even the printer and he just trolled me and I've had this troll package sitting for a year?
You're just waiting. That's why he keeps jumping.
Yeah. Oh, he's using a Pad 7. You shouldn't have any issues using a Pad 7. The Beast is running a Pad 7. I'm using our config. So something's fucky.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to get a hold of his config file and his log, and his Clippy log.
Ed's asking, any idea when you're getting a restock on the bamboo, like the extruder gears? We have them. I don't think we went out of stock on them. There's no way in hell. I ordered a bunch of them. Hang on. I'll check this really quick. And you guys can see our stock on our site. I have 47 of them in stock. And we have the new V2 kit. They're $1 more, but I had people finding out that their bearings that were in the extruder were going out. So we just added in new bearings. So if your bearings are going out, you can change the bearings out. So you're talking about for the AMS?
It's cold out.
If you're talking about is that what they call them, the AMS, or are they called the first feeder gears?
We don't
no,
have
we
the
don't.
AMS.
We've never carried those. We don't have those. I can look into it though. I haven't seen them come across any of the offerings from our suppliers, but I can find them.
Actually, we probably should because I've been running a lot of carbon fiber through my.
Yeah, they wear
AMS.
out. Okay. I'm gonna make. They're called first. That's the technical term for them. Is first feeder. So when I think first feeder, I think like the extruder. So, okay. Look into ordering AMS first feeder gears. All right, it's on my to-do list. If it's not on my to-do list, it might as well not exist, but it's literally on my to-do list now. So, all right. Yeah, those gears have been great. Like I actually had a really bad like heat creep with PLA, and it like wrapped around on the inside of the gears, and I took them off, and there was no filament stuck to them. So that nano coating works awesome. It's the same manufacturer that we use to make the gears that were in our Tough Extruder V2. So it was good shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have them. They just haven't been posted.
Yeah, I'll have to look. It could be called something else, but if not, I can try to get design files and just have them custom made. So, but yeah. All right. But anyways, I'm actually going to wrap this up. You guys have a good weekend. Thanks for tuning in. And I see Tyler West was the last question. He said, why am I bald? Well, because I said, screw it. I didn't feel like paying for a haircut. And I have a $20 set of wall clippers, and Krista just buzzed it. Okay, Emerson, if I was because my balding is not as bad as that. Mine's mostly towards the back. I would just be shaving it.
Mine's not
Sarah
that
won't
bad.
let me. She won't let me do it.
Tori, yours is worse than mine. You got it more in the front than I do. Because
Mine
mine, at
looks
least
worse on
this
camera.
fills in fairly good. It's the back here that's bad on me.
I just have like really high widow peaks.
Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
Emerson, when you come here for the LAN party, we're shaving your head.
I mean, you run
We're
the risk
shaving
of
your head.
pissing off a redhead.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's on you.
It's okay. We'll shave your head. Yes, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We'll go out to the shop. We'll lock them out. So the shop doors, we have like the bottom locks. So the keypads, even if they do it, they can't open the doors. We'll just take you out there and just shave your head.
Well, see, Sarah. Okay, I don't want Sarah to cut her hair because she has pretty hair and a full head of hair.
Well, she's a girl.
because
Girls
of
look
that,
better with
You
long
don't.
hair.
I'm not allowed to cut my hair.
Well, I told Krista if mine was at yours, I would just be shaving. I just said screw it. I was like, I don't want to go pay for because I like my barber, but like it's like $40 with tip. I'm tired of paying $40. It was $20 for the set of wall clippers.
I've been shaving my head myself.
Yeah, and look,
since I was
it,
in high school.
and look it. You put the hat on. Like, who cares? I will say though,
See,
when it's like,
and so it curl. It's all
yeah, I
curled
hate
now.
that. Mine does that too. It drives me nuts. But what I'm saying is like, you can just when you're like out working, you take your hat off. It's just like breeze. It's like, oh, it's so
Yes.
great.
When
It's
you
so
get
nice.
that
Or you're in the
nice,
truck
cool
with the windows
breeze
down.
on your
Yeah.
bald dome. Oh, it's so great.
All right. So bald domes are great, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.
This is all you need. This
That
and your
works.
head on the toilet.
There you go. TH3D clippers coming soon.